if you are over 50 and you feel like life is slipping away from you, stop everything and listen to this, because what you are about to hear might be the most important thing anyone has ever told you at this stage of your life. You think the problem is your age. You look in the mirror and you see someone older. You feel the tiredness in your bones. You watch younger people moving fast, building things, getting attention, and something inside you quietly says, "My time is over. I missed my chance. The best years are behind me." But what if I told you that voice is lying to you? What if I told you that almost everything you believe about aging is wrong? Not just slightly wrong, but completely, dangerously wrong. And what if I told you that the next 10 or 20 years of your life could actually be the most powerful years you have ever lived, but only if you are willing to hear something uncomfortable right now? Here is what nobody tells you. Your pain right now is not coming from your age. It is not coming from your wrinkles. It is not coming from your slower body or your gray hair. Your pain is coming from one thing and one thing only: attachment. You're attached to the person you used to be. You're attached to how your body looked at 30. You are attached to the career you thought you would have. You are attached to a version of life that was never guaranteed to you in the first place. Buddhism teaches something that most people never truly understand. Suffering does not come from what happens to you. Suffering comes from your refusal to accept what is happening. You are not suffering because you are 50 or 60 or 70. You are suffering because reality no longer matches the picture you built in your head decades ago. And instead of letting go of that picture, you keep holding it up and comparing everything to it. That is where the pain lives, not in your body, in your mind. Think about it honestly. When you see a younger person succeeding, what happens inside you? When you notice your energy is lower than it used to be, what thought appears? When you remember a choice you made 20 years ago that did not work out, what emotion follows? It is not the event that hurts you. It is the story your mind tells about the event. The story says you should have done more. You should be further ahead. You should look different. You should feel different. You should feel different. That word "should" is destroying your peace. Imagine standing in a river and trying to stop the water with your bare hands. The river does not care. It keeps flowing. You do not slow it down. You only exhaust yourself. Time is that river. The more you fight it, the more tired and bitter you become. But the moment you stop fighting and start flowing with it, something changes. You get your energy back. You get your clarity back. And suddenly you can see where you actually want to go. Now here is the second thing you need to hear, and this one is harder. The person you used to be has to die. Not physically, psychologically. The identity you built in your 20s and 30s and 40s, the roles you played, the titles you held, the image you protected, that version of you cannot carry you into the next chapter. It served its purpose. It got you this far. But now it is weighing you down like old armor that no longer fits. You keep saying things like, "I used to be strong. I used to be disciplined. I used to be important. I used to be attractive." But every time you say "I used to be," you are telling yourself that the best version of you is gone. And that is not true. That version was not the best version. It was just the earlier version. And earlier does not mean better. It just means different. Buddhism teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging self. What you call me is just a collection of habits, memories, roles, and repeated thoughts. You are not a fixed thing. You are a flowing process. And a process can always change direction, but not if you are clinging to an old identity like it is a life raft. That old identity is not saving you. It is keeping you stuck in water that has already moved downstream. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. Are you trying to rebuild your life, or are you trying to recreate your past? Because those are not the same thing. Recreating the past is impossible. The conditions are different now. You are different now. The world is different now. But rebuilding is absolutely possible at any age. Rebuilding means starting from where you actually are, not from where you wish you were. And that brings us to the next truth. Regret is eating you alive, and you might not even realize it. After 50, regret becomes this quiet passenger that rides with you everywhere. It sits next to you in the morning. It whispers to you at night. It shows up every time you see someone who seems to have it all together. And it always says the same thing. If only I had started earlier. If only I had been braver. If only I had made different choices. But here is what regret never tells you. That other path you imagine, the one where everything worked out perfectly, that path did not exist. It is a fantasy. Your mind edited out all the uncertainty, all the risk, all the pain that would have come with that other choice. Regret romanticizes the road not taken and makes your actual road feel small. But your actual road is the only real one, and it brought you here. And here is not the end. Here is a starting point. Every single minute you spend replaying old mistakes is a minute you cannot use to build something new. Regret will not rebuild your health. Regret will not rebuild your finances. Regret will not fix your relationships. Regret will not give you confidence. Only action in the present moment can do those things. And present action becomes impossible when you are emotionally anchored to yesterday. So let the past be what it is. Finished. Done. Unchangeable. Extract the lessons from it and then walk forward. You are not your worst decision. You are not your missed opportunity. You are the awareness that can choose differently, starting right now. And right now is more powerful than any, if only you have ever whispered to yourself. Now let me tell you something practical. Stop waiting for motivation. If you are sitting around waiting to feel inspired before you make a change, you will be sitting there for a very long time. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes like weather. Some days you feel fired up. Most days you do not. And if your entire plan for rebuilding depends on feeling excited, your plan is already broken. What works after 50 is not motivation. It is discipline. Discipline does not care how you feel. Discipline says, I made a decision and I am going to follow through whether I feel like it or not. That is it. No drama, no emotional highs. Just steady, repeated action day after day after day after day. Buddhist monks do not wake up every morning feeling thrilled about meditation. Meditation is often boring. It is uncomfortable. It reveals all the restlessness and noise inside your head. But they sit down anyway because they understand that transformation does not come from intensity. It comes from consistency. The same principle applies to your life right now. You do not need a dramatic overhaul. You need small daily actions that you repeat without exception. If your health needs work, walk every single day, not when you feel like it. Every day. If your finances need attention, track your spending every single week, not when it is convenient. Every week. If your confidence is low, keep one small promise to yourself every single day. Show up for your own commitments. Over time, that builds trust in yourself. And trust in yourself is the foundation of everything. 1 year of quiet, steady discipline will change your life more than 5 years of emotional ups and downs ever could. Stop looking for the big moment. Start respecting the small ones. And here is something you might not expect to hear. Simplicity is your secret weapon now. When you were younger, complexity felt exciting. You could juggle 10 things at once. You could tolerate chaos. You could run on very little sleep and still function. But you are not that person anymore. And that is not a weakness. That is actually an advantage if you use it correctly. After 50, your nervous system prefers calm. Your body prefers rhythm. Your mind prefers focus. So stop trying to do everything. Stop saying yes to every obligation. Stop filling your schedule with things that drain you. Start removing instead of adding. Look at your environment. Is it cluttered with objects from a life you no longer live? Clear it out. Look at your relationships. Are there people you keep around purely out of habit even though they exhaust you? Create boundaries. Look at your commitments. How many of them actually matter? Cut the rest. When you simplify your life, Your energy stops leaking in 100 small directions, and that energy becomes available for the things that truly matter. Simplicity is not about having less for the sake of having less. It is about making room for what actually strengthens you. Now, here is something that might surprise you. Your mind is still completely trainable. One of the most toxic beliefs people carry after 50 is, "This is just who I am now." That sentence sounds humble, it sounds realistic, but it is actually surrender dressed up as acceptance. Your brain does not stop forming new patterns just because you turned 50. What you repeat gets stronger. What you stop feeding gets weaker. This is true at 20. It is true at 50. It is true at 80. If you have been telling yourself for years that you are bad with technology, or resistant to change, or not disciplined, or not confident, those are not permanent truths. Those are practiced thoughts. You rehearsed them so many times they feel like facts. But they are habits, and habits can be changed at any age with awareness and repetition. The question is not whether your mind can change. It absolutely can. The question is whether you are willing to do the uncomfortable work of training it. Start questioning your automatic thoughts. When your mind says, "I cannot," pause and ask, "Is that actually true, or is that just a story I have been telling myself?" Most of the time you will find it is just a story, and stories can be rewritten. Now let me tell you the big picture. Your final decades can genuinely be your strongest. Not your loudest, not your fastest, but your deepest and most grounded. You have something that younger people simply do not have. You have perspective. You have seen what works and what does not. You have experienced attachment and loss. You have watched how ego destroys peace. You have lived long enough to recognize patterns that others are still blind to. That knowledge is power if you choose to use it. But here is the key. You must practice detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You still love your family, but you do not try to control their every decision. You still care about your health, but you do not panic at every change. You still work toward financial stability, but you do not let your entire identity collapse if conditions shift. Detachment means participating fully in life while accepting that nothing is permanent and that acceptance is not weakness. It is the deepest kind of strength. When you stop gripping so tightly to how everything should be, something remarkable happens. You relax. Fear decreases, anxiety drops, and you start actually enjoying your life again. Not as a race, not as a competition, but as a conscious experience unfolding one moment at a time. And finally, you must choose your purpose. After 50, purpose does not magically appear. No angel is going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you what to do next. Purpose is chosen, deliberately, consciously. It does not need to be grand. It does not need to impress anyone. It just needs to anchor you. Maybe your purpose is mastering your own mind. Maybe it is becoming a source of calm in your family. Maybe it is rebuilding your health. Maybe it is mentoring someone younger. Maybe it is simply living with more awareness than you did before. Whatever it is, choose it, commit to it, let it shape your days. Because when you have purpose, you stop drifting. And when you stop drifting, you stop decaying. Your mind sharpens. Your energy focuses. Your life gains weight and meaning again. The world may tell you that strength belongs to the young, but real strength belongs to the person who has walked through storms and no longer panics at clouds. Real strength belongs to the person who has seen impermanence clearly and remains steady anyway. That person can be you, not the old you, not the young you, the aware you, the refined you, the you that is being shaped right now in this very moment. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not finished. You are just beginning the part of life that actually matters. Stop fighting your age. Stop mourning your past. Stop waiting for permission. Start building. Quietly, steadily, deliberately. One day at a time. One breath at a time. one choice at a time. Your life is not ending, it is refining. And if you walk the remaining path with awareness and discipline and peace, these years will not feel like decline. They will feel like mastery. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, like this video and subscribe to Buddhism Focus so you never miss a message like this. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, your greatest chapter is not behind you. It is waiting to be written right now.